Hi, I'm Elisa.
I'm Ben.
And this is E for You. Today's theme is what, Ben? Today what is
Engagement.
Hey, we love engaging with our community. And today we have a very special guest that engages with their community. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Tanzia. I'm the founder of UrbGarden, which is an organization that empowers younger generations to grow food within small spaces. Yeah, that's it.
Well, hi. Welcome to our podcast.
Thank you.
We really appreciate it. And we start every podcast on a good note, and that is yuppers.
Mhm.
So what is your yuppers for today, for the week? You know, what good things have been happening?
It's been, like I mentioned this to you before, but it's been a really busy month for me because of the growing season. So I'm actually, nothing good has happened yet, but I'm actually looking forward to a concert on Friday. My all-time favorite artist, Corinne Bailey Rae, she's in town. Have you heard of her?
I've never heard of her. Have you heard of her?
No, what's her name?
Corinne Bailey Rae.
Corinne Bailey
What's
Rae,
like
no.
the music genre?
She did like a one-hit wonder a while back. It's like, I'm gonna sing it.
Sing it.
Sing it.
Girl, put your record.
Oh, okay, wow.
She
Okay,
did
okay.
that, but like all of her songs are really good, and she got me through high school. She got me through college. So like, and she never comes to the U.S. because she's British. So I'm
okay.
so excited.
I would expect a country.
Wait, her
like,
name's
like Tennessee.
Yeah, her
Yeah,
name's Corn,
she's-
right? Is that what you said?
What's that?
What? Her name's Corn.
Corinne Bailey Rae.
Corinne Bailey
yeah,
Rae,
she's a
okay.
black woman from London.
Wow.
And she literally never comes to the U.S. So I'm going to see her on Friday. And then Saturday, my two friends, they started this slow fashion fest. Have you heard of that one?
Yeah, I follow
Yeah.
all of those people.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're doing that Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and I'm volunteering as bartender Saturday. If you don't know Ben, they're like, they just started last year, so this is their second one, and they gather all of the local sustainable clothing designers. So they basically recycle all of their like materials and make them into like really fashionable outfits. So they do like a runway show and they have like clothing swaps. So it's like getting larger and larger. Are you
Oh,
going?
that's awesome.
No,
Oh, you're
no,
going-
I'm gonna be out of the country,
Right,
but
you're out of
like,
the country.
I had FOMO last time I saw it on their like social media, and like, wow, it looked like a really good time.
It really is.
I'll have to check it out. I'll be here.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
like,
Yeah,
I'll
you
go
should.
check it out.
Yeah.
And yeah, and it's accessible. So I'm like, I always look forward to it because like in Austin, you can't really dress up because everyone's so casual. So like in this weekend, you can like wear your wildest outfit,
Okay.
and everyone just like admires your fashion. It's really fun.
Yeah.
Okay,
Sounds fun.
okay.
Yeah.
Ben, what's your yuppers?
A few days ago, I went to Double Trouble Coffee,
Mhm.
and I had like the best iced mocha latte.
Mhm.
Like, I don't know if they were just like in a good mood when they made it or what, but like I've gotten it before there, but it was like the best one I've had yet. So definitely like boosted my day. Like,
Where is it from?
It's
Double
oh,
Trouble?
It's called Double Trouble. What's the
like
road?
airport? Like you go up
Okay.
airport, and then there's like Austin Pets Alive.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
It's
like
funny. It's like
the whole-
right, like I live like walking distance from the place, but she knows like my neighborhood better than I do.
Oh
Like
my
I don't know where
goodness.
anything is.
No.
Oh, it's interesting. I
So-
drive past that road all the time. I've never seen.
It's like
so
it's kind
cute.
of hard to tell. It's easy to miss. I feel
Mhm.
like it's like a
Okay.
white building though.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a new coffee shop. I just checked
Yeah.
out.
It's
then.
like coffee shop bar with like vegan food, like very
Ah.
good
Yeah.
for no reason. Like
Oh,
why?
and the what is it? The non burger they have.
the
like,
non burger. Have you had non burger?
It's like a
No.
vegan burger.
Oh.
It's so good. Like,
Okay.
yeah,
He
yeah.
loves them.
Yeah.
No,
I'm not
I live
vegan,
really
but-
close by there too, so
Okay.
I'm gonna check it out.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You said
Highly
you had the
recommend.
mocha?
Yeah, iced
Double
mocha
mocha?
latte.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's good to know.
I think my uppers would be I have a jalapeno plant. I think you saw my Instagram
Yeah,
story.
I'm
yeah.
so proud of you.
Yeah, thank you, thank you. Yeah, for whatever reason, my jalapeno plant decided to like give me 14 jalapenos that were like super spicy. Like
Yeah,
I can only eat one at a time.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, but my garden has been thriving lately.
Oh,
good.
yay.
Yeah.
I didn't know that you were actually growing. I don't think I talked to you about that before.
Yeah, I don't think we talked about gardening, but I'm a gardener. I have like a green thumb or whatever.
Oh, yay.
Yeah, but I can't grow flowers. I can only grow tomatoes. But,
Okay.
like, Yeah.
produce. Yeah.
Yeah, just little veggies.
Because
or
don't you have
whatever.
like squash or something coming?
Yeah,
in?
my squash, they come out like 2 inches tall and like don't grow at all.
Oh.
What is it, summer squash or like zucchini?
No, I have summer squash, and summer squash
Okay.
is doing good, but it's like I want to say it kind of looks like a butternut squash.
Okay.
I don't
Yeah.
know. You're the plant expert.
No, they're really difficult. I think you would have to wait for it to get a little bit cooler. But it's like the right time to plant it, but it just takes it's
Okay.
like one of the longer periods of harvesting time.
Okay, that
Yeah.
makes me feel better that like I didn't fail that hard.
No, I don't think
Okay,
so.
okay.
They're the more challenging plants.
Have you been able to grow any?
So I've been able to grow acorn squash, but not butternut squash. I just feel like I'm not a huge fan of like cutting open butternut squash. I'm very like picky about what I grow. Like if I'm not gonna eat it myself, I'm not gonna grow it. But acorn squash is easy, and they're like smaller. I try to grow things that are simple for people who live in apartment complexes. So I like
Okay.
experiment on their behalf.
Mhm.
So like as a butternut squash, you would have to have a larger container. So I try to be a little bit more accessible.
Oh, I like
But-
that.
yeah.
Yeah, because I was telling Lisa actually the other day, like the neighborhood I live in, it's like all houses in like one apartment complex that I live in.
Mhm.
Like all these people have like these big like gardens in their front yards with like all this produce, and I'm like, I want to do that, but like I can't really. Like in my apartment, I have like one like basil plant in the windowsill.
It's
And,
like-
it's
it's like
like
this
so
tall.
small. Yeah, it's like, but it's going strong. So
Yeah.
yeah.
You'd be surprised what you can grow in a small space.
Yeah.
I'd love to help you afterwards.
Okay, yeah, we'll talk after this because
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm gonna grow my little thing.
He
Yeah.
needs a help.
No,
Yeah.
she's- don't roast me. So I guess like moving into like some questions we have for you.
Okay.
What led you to create UrbGarden?
Okay. Okay, so for a few years ago, I moved from Houston, and I thought, I should start gardening in a new uncharted territory. And I had a very flexible job at the time. So I decided to call up and email some of the community gardens in our area. And I don't know if y'all know this, there's like little, about 30, I think we have like 28 community gardens.
Oh,
Half of
wow.
them never responded. And then the half that did respond, several of them said they were waitlisted for at least a year. And then the other half said that, yes, we have a spot, but we're located on the other side of town.
Mm.
So I just like was feeling very defeated. And it was just like either wasn't accessible transportation wise, or I had to wait a year. And I just decided I'm going to experiment with container gardening, which is urban gardening. And with a lot of trial and error, after a growing season, I thought I noticed a lot of people in our generation felt deterred to garden because they thought they needed access to green space like I did before. And so I decided, let me just do these small little workshops to educate people that you don't need green space to grow hardy vegetables, leafy greens. I even learned you can grow fruit trees on your balcony.
Wow.
So
What kind?
right, yeah, like
What kind?
like little key lime
Oh,
trees.
okay.
There's like mandarin oranges. There's like a specific name for it, with like specific trees that grow in containers. That is just like very unlimited options.
Mhm.
Or we're not limited to a lot of. I'm trying to say, there's a lot of options for us to grow within a small space, and a lot of people think that we need a big backyard. And so I started off with my apartment complex at the time, and I presented this idea of a workshop for the residents to my leasing manager, and I was pretty chummy with her at the time, and she fully supported it. And it started off with one. Do you know, like in the apartment complex where it's like once a month they have like a resident event where it's like Cinco de Mayo, like come and
Yeah,
grab a
yeah.
beer, or
Yeah.
like it's National Donut Day, come and grab a donut. So I slowly learned that like these apartment complexes are given a stipend by corporate to like probably $600, $700 depending on how big the apartment complex is. They are given a stipend specifically to spend on their residents. So I took that to my advantage and decided like, oh, I'm just gonna pitch these to multiple apartment complexes, and it grew from there a couple years ago to the point where it was a little overwhelming for me. So I decided, instead of doing a resident events from apartment to apartment, I would just centralize the location and just do one event per month. And I made sure that that location was accessible. And that's where we're here today. And it's catered to, now it's evolved to several different audiences, but I have 3 different programs, and it's catered to youth, which is 6 to 12, and adults and teenagers as well.
Wow. It sounds like I was the kind of person you like created UrbGarden for. Like, you know, I was saying like, oh, I thought you had to have green space, you know, to grow all these like cool plants and produce. So
yeah, it's eye-opening to like learn that. Like when you said, oh, I can only grow basil, like I wanted to stop the podcast right now and just be like, no, you can grow so many things. Here's a list of everything. Yeah, it's incredible. And a lot of the attendees that have attended the workshops in the past have like now have like an abundance of fruits and veggies on their patio, and it's just like really incredible to like watch their journeys. Yeah. Grow.
Awesome.
Do you give them like I know that you carry like seeds around with you. Do you give them seeds to throw out?
Do you mean during the workshop?
Yeah, just like I don't know. Do they do that too?
Yes. So that's part of the workshop. I also brought y'all seeds.
Okay, awesome.
We're gonna grow a garden now.
I totally forgot. It's in the car, but I like brought them. But yeah, I'm like carrying a suitcase of seeds, and during the workshop, it's very interactive, and I think that's what makes our garden community events so unique. Is like you're always like engaged, and you're not like listening to me talk for an hour. Especially the children's one, I make it very like I incorporate a lot of activities because their attention spans are like 2 minutes long. But towards the end of the workshop, you have the basic knowledge of what you can grow based on your lighting, your space, what like maintenance you want to, like you said, like squash takes a lot more maintenance. And so towards the end of the workshop, you have a better idea of what you want to sow. And I like kind of lay out, you know, what seeds you can sow today and then what seeds you can take home, because there's a difference between direct seeding and transplanting. But yes, to answer your question, people take home a lot of seeds, and I give them little packets.
I love that.
Yeah.
We'll need to do like a 3-month update on like the seeds you give us tonight.
Yeah.
Be like,
I
look,
would
I'm
love
like
that.
my kitchen's full of like.
It's like the perfect time to like, because it's kind of cooling down. So it's like the perfect time to sow some seeds.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think tomorrow might be a gardening day for me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, who knows? So we also wanted to know, like, through this, like, how do you engage with your community? Like, what ways do you see works best for your type of work, and what ways, like, do you feel empower them, like, the most through your engagement with them?
I try to oscillate between social media and in person. I lean more towards in person just because I feel like I make more memorable connections that way. And through the in-person workshops, I try to articulate this online as well as often as I can, but I'm one person, so I can't do both most of the time. But like in person during my workshops, I try to engage my audience by giving them options of how they can become more involved in the food justice movement. A lot of the times I say just showing up to a workshop is powerful in itself. You don't even have to go home sowing any kind of seeds. Just being able to like absorb the knowledge and spread that knowledge to your community is impactful enough. And then I give them other options of how to contribute to the movement, where you can, volunteer at your community gardens, or volunteer at a food bank, or I very much have I put an emphasis on volunteering for your local free food fridge, just because it's so hyper local. You get a better idea of what your neighbors, like what resources they need, and like my local one on the east side, there's sometimes families that put a post-it on there saying like, this week I need milk and eggs and bread for my kids. And so you have food banks are amazing, but being a little bit more intimate with your community, I highly suggest donating essential goods, nourishing produce to your local pantries and free fridges. And so we discussed this during our workshops, and I try to incorporate that into social media. And now it's evolved to where people that have attended my workshops, they have arranged like communal meal prepping parties.
Okay. Like, I love that.
And so like they have like empty Tupperwares, and like, you know, if you have 5, I have 5, you have 5, like we're able to accumulate 100 meals, and it could be just like rice and beans, like anything nourishing and nutrient dense for families to just be able to not have to think about what they have to cook that night. So yeah, we have that that kind of discourse during the first part of my workshop, and then we get into the nitty gritty of like actually getting our hands dirty. But I find that important to like be able to engage with them in that respect.
Okay. And then for like, if you could explain what this free food fridge is for those that do not know it.
Okay. We have, I think, 5 total free fridges in the city. They are mostly located within underserved areas of Austin. There's one near an affordable housing unit. There's a couple near on the east side. And it's mainly run by a mutual aid organization called ATEX Free Fridge. And I think it's run by 4 women, 3 of them being my friends, and I try to support them as much as I can. And full transparency, sometimes I can't donate food. So I try to, because I don't have the financial means, so sometimes I tell my peers that just going out to help clean the free fridges once a month is like helpful enough to them and supporting them in a way. But it's run by a mutual aid organization, but it's also run by the community, because we are the ones that are replenishing these fridges. And yeah, nobody gains any kind of nobody's like monetarily gaining anything from this. It's literally just reciprocity, where we're just helping the community. And sometimes like the whole point of it is if you need something from there as well, like it has nothing to do with like privilege and unprivileged. It's more about what are the resources that you need and what are the resources that you can give. And that I guess school of thought where a lot of people don't have that mentality, and so we're trying to like I don't know, infiltrate into the community and get more people to think that way, that it's not a charity of or like you're not donating just because you feel sorry for them. It's supposed to be like an exchange, a mutual exchange.
Yeah, it sounds like, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it sounds like, you know, engagement to you and to like your organization is mutual aid, like you said, like that act of like coming together and helping each other out, like your neighbors out, really building that like community without like necessarily seeking like what can I gain from this, or like doing it from like a place of like looking down on like, you know, your neighbor as well. Like,
exactly. Yes. It's like equity. Yeah. And if we were to boil it down to one word, it's we're creating equity by sustaining this mutual the free fridges. Yeah.
Okay. That's very much like a plant. I don't know. I thought like you were describing the free fridge, food fridge, and like that made me think like a plant. Like you're giving all this nourishment to the plant and whatnot. I was like, okay, that's very you. Like also poetic too.
I know. Like you're creative today.
Yeah, creative or whatever. Yeah. What other questions you have? Yeah. Well. Okay. So if you could let us know where we can find you on social media and what you're going to be doing next.
You can find me at urb.garden on Instagram, and my website is urbgardenco.com. I try to have one event per month, so look out for those.
Yeah, you might catch us there.
Maybe some waiters, caterers.
Right? Yeah. Bonjour.
Right. little button down the
Little
silver
bow
platter.
tie.
Yeah,
the bow ties,
that'll be
yeah.
us. We're gonna be there.
We're already matching shirts this
Yeah.
time. Like,
Yeah.
stay tuned.
And you can all find us at
E4Youth on Instagram and Facebook.
and at e4youth.org.
Yes.
That's all for today's show. Thank you very much for
Thank
being
you.
here. We really appreciate you taking your time out of your day. And that's all for
E for
You.
Yes. Hey.